find Murray after the convention. I tried desperately. As soon as I had a minute, I went back inside after the proceedings were shut down trying to find him. I asked several people, do you know where Murray Clark is? No, don't know where he is. And so I was unable to actually address Murray Clark. Today I realized the foolishness of even thinking that Murray Clark is going to entertain a problem like this. And in fact, I emailed Dennis Cruz this morning and I said, well, Dennis, nothing has happened. Do you still suggest I talk to Murray Clark, the man who was in charge of the unanimous approval of the rule change in the 11th hour? Doesn't really compute. So, as of, yes.
Do you have to go through these different people, these channels, or can you just hit the top man, cut out all the middlemen in between and find out how and how
that's been a decision I've struggled over since the beginning and understanding what had happened there. I wanted to do things as much as possible via protocol.
Right.
All right? So go to the county chairman, since I'm a member of the GOP in this county. And so I did that immediately, and I did that repeatedly. And I spoke to Steve face to face here in Fort Wayne, in the GOP headquarters, and on the phone, and through emails, indicating to him that we need to get the discrepancy in the balloting resolved. And he said, yes, we do. Absolutely. This should not be forgotten. And so it was, I backed off. I said, okay. You know, Steve, I'm waiting on you.
He is a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
And
so as of this morning at 10 o'clock, when no, it was after that. It was almost at 11 o'clock. Steve was going through his office. I had the secretary on the phone and had said, I really need to hear from Steve. He moved through the office. His secretary intercepted him, gave him my message about my desire to reconvene the 3rd Congressional District caucus for the election of delegates, alternates, and electors. Because to me, that's the only solution.
Right.
If you have a bad vote and you know it was bad, then it needs to be redone. Duh. And so the secretary was off the phone for a few minutes talking to Steve, presenting my message, my question, and she returned and quoted. Oh, I could tell when it's verbatim. You know, legal secretaries know how to do that sort of stuff. And she said, Steve says, you're on your own. He's not going to do anything about it. You're on your own. And so it was then that I emailed Dennis Cruz, and I'm putting out a plea. And I'm hoping that Anita, my good friend here, will get this segment of Stupid Politics viral through YouTube as soon as possible, so that we can make sure that everybody who was a delegate in the 3rd Congressional District in Indiana knows what happened, understands what I'm requesting, and gang tackles their county chairman and the district chairman, Barbara Krish, and says, we want to vote again.
Well, because we never had the opportunity to elect.
Well, that's...
I mean, we were only... Because this is her argument. Her argument is, no, you did vote. That's what... Because I talked to her, too. She says, no, you did vote. But we didn't get the chance to elect, which... I mean, we didn't get a chance to nominate or elect, which is supposed to come before the vote. They jumped the process, and we only got to vote on what they wanted.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's actually much more serious than that. It's much more serious, because what we have is essentially now a vote which we can verify was improperly managed.
Yeah.
This reflects on the ability of the chair to conduct the business of the day.
Which would be Barbara.
This means that the outcome of the election is bogus, null and void. I think is the legal term.
Do you have a copy of that one? Would they give that you?
What's that?
The list? It should be.
Oh, the signature list? Of course, I'm sure it should be available. I'm sure that the state GOP committee has in the possession, you know, the signature forms from every one of the 9 district caucuses that were held that day in Indy. And so it is that, yeah, all of what I know is verifiable.
May I ask
as well as the minutes of the secretary stating what the vote was on the floor. And that should be easily compared, as it was in my mind when it was reported to me.
So Barbara Krish, who's over everything,